Hey guys, it is me, TechnoRike here, and I'm here to talk about the truth of the new map, Lost River. So, as you know, Lost River is just this abandoned town, and which you can like explore or something like that. I don't know. And it looks pretty abandoned, and it's actually a real town, and it's loading, so you gotta wait. But there are many signs of kind of how it got abandoned. So it all started out as this lovely town known as known as now Lost River. It was actually called Ukraine Chernobyle. I don't know how to pronounce it, but there was supposedly a radioactive explosion, and it killed many creatures. Well, I don't know. It killed many people, and the ones that are left behind, which are mostly animals or creatures of the canid family, which were left mutated, supposedly becoming bigger, which is kind of why we're bigger than some houses. Well, not technically like taller, but the houses look pretty small compared to the wolf. Now, there are these like strange, creepy, signs that there's supposedly there was this like attack. Well, no, not necessarily an attack, but a disaster that happened, which is of course the radioactive explosion. But people said that it was kind of like a failure of an experiment or something like that. But as you can check, these people were like riding on these garages, and it's kind of strange because they probably knew what was going on, and they just had to leave. And well, why do I keep saying supposedly? Well, they kind of left, or they just probably, died. But as you can see, this garage sign, it's kind of weird because if they know that they're probably what disaster is happening, why would they just write on here? Now, I don't know if they actually did, but supposedly this actually happened, and I don't know why I keep saying supposedly, stuff like that. And it's just been weird because this is a real town, not just some simple abandoned town, and I don't know why they'd make it a map because something serious happened. First, the river now was. I don't really know what happened to the river. All I really know is that there was probably a flood at Allison Acres. And yeah, it's pretty strange. Now, I think there's like this main reason why so many creatures or people died. Oh, I can't even hear. Stuff like that. But as you can see, the wolves the animals that were left here were left mutated and so more aggressive and a big size. Now this house looks pretty small. That's because they're mutated. But the reason why I thought that most of the animals died is over here at these like black holes, which is kind of like the exit of Ukraine Chernobyle. And as you can see, the sign says "Welcome to Lost River." And if you can see pretty far away, there's these signs that are blocking off the way out of Ukraine Chernobyle, and it says "Road closed ahead," and which means the animals couldn't have gone out. Well, you might be saying, well, TechnoRike, they could just jump over the signs and run away. Well, I don't know though, because this town just looks all abandoned, which it is. I don't know what I'm saying anymore, but all this stuff happened. Now, my favorite part of the clue is over here, in which these gas tanks, as I call them, have like this crack in them, and this green stuff going out, which is probably how the radioactive explosion happened. Like somehow the gas tank probably got overfilled or something like that, and then the radioactive gas kind of just, you know, spread out and caused many people to die and stuff like that. And this town looks pretty crumbled up. It happened in like 1985 or something like that. It was like it's somewhere in the 1980s that this happened. So that's the reason why like all this stuff is all rusted and stuff like that. And supposedly the radioactive explosion caused this like brown grass to come out of the crack, or to grow in the cracks of the streets. Now, as you may be thinking, well, what happened at the flood? Well, we don't really know what happened to cause the flood or something like that. But all we know is that it flooded these houses, which probably caused people to drown or something like that. But here's the strange part. I'll try and get to it, at least. So I'll be right back. So we're here at Allison Anchors now, and my computer can't really pick up on the noises because I have my headphones in. But if you actually do play WolfQuest, which some probably wouldn't because, you know, it costs money and stuff in this update. But as you can see, it flooded many of these houses, and that's probably the reason why some people died over here. Now, as you can see, there's this beaver dam, which is, you know, like or as you would call it, a beaver den. And if you come over here and, you know, explore around a bit, and in the middle of getting there, you might hear this like splash, like as if a rock would like splash in the water. Well, you hear it. Then once you get directly to this beaver den, you can hear like strange growling noises, like as if something's struggling to get out. And, you know, it's just kind of weird because, you know, it just sounds like they're like struggling to get out, and that's probably why they could have died. Now, if you look here at Hank's Ditch, there's a reason why that the river may have flooded here. If you go over here, you can see right here that what the beavers, you know, like, you know, I'm gonna call it a beaver bridge. Beaver bridge blocked out the flow of the river through Hank's Ditch, and that's what caused the river to overflow and flood this town. So yeah, that's just all I really want to speak about, which is kind of like, you know, the truth of the WolfQuest Lost River. So, you know, I'll see you in another video. Bye guys!